All right, we like are packing up the camera gear, trying to pack up the camera gear in a sudden downpour, pouring rain. Oh my God, getting soaked. Hey guys, welcome back. We are now in part 3, the third and final part of our ultimate kettlebell swing checklist. If you haven't already, check out parts 1 and 2. In part 1, we fixed common problems with the kettlebell swing that happen in your setup and your hip hinge. In part 2, we covered common kettlebell swing problems that we see in the hike pass and your legs and feet. Now we're in part 3. We've arrived. We're fixing problems today in your standing plank and your arms and shoulders. Check out parts 1 and 2 below if you haven't yet, and let's get into it. It's a beautiful morning on Maui, so let's go. So we're gonna start with our standing plank. So the first plank problem that we often see with the swing is people bouncing out of the plank. So they're hitting their plank and then they're immediately bouncing out of it. And the problem with that is we're losing our glute and our quad engagement, and we're just losing a lot of tension and power. So let me show you what it looks like. So the reason we don't want to bounce out of the plank is we're losing our glute engagement, we're losing our quad engagement, we're not creating tension, right? We're loosey-goosey, and that's never going to be a strong and powerful swing. So to fix this, it's really an easy fix. It's really about what you're thinking about when you're swinging. Instead of thinking about snapping your hips, boom, right? Sometimes that can, thinking about snapping can cause us to bounce out of the plank. Instead, I want you to think about squeezing into the finish of your swing. It's still an explosive movement, but instead of exploding and snapping into it, think about squeezing into it, squeezing your butt, squeezing your quads, pulling your kneecaps up and staying rooted. Let me show you that fix. I'm gonna think about squeezing into the standing plank of my swing. You can see there, I'm holding my standing plank for the duration of that swing and the float, and I'm only pushing the hips back kind of at the very last moment there. So, hope that helps. The next problem we see a lot with our standing plank is what we call chicken necking. So I'm gonna show you what chicken necking looks like. I'll also show you what an overly tucked chin looks like. When we're chicken necking, it just means we don't have a neutral spine. We want to think about our spine as including all of our vertebrae from our tailbone all the way up through our neck, right? So that should be nice and long and neutral. An easy fix for these problems of chicken necking or tucking your chin, really you just want to think about getting tall at the top of your swing. And some easy cues for that are to get tall through your ears. So if you're thinking about making your ears tall, that's going to help you get tall in the right way. Another helpful cue is pretend there's a pane of glass like 1 inch above your head, and you're actually trying to break that pane of glass with the top of your head when you're at the top of your swing. Let me just do some swings, thinking about getting tall through my ears and trying to break that imaginary pane of glass with the top of my head, and you'll see what it looks like when we're getting tall. Cool, that's our fix for chicken necking. Another problem we see with the standing plank is leaning back during the swing. So let me show you what that looks like. When we lean back in the swing, it's a problem because it shows that we're not bracing our abs. If we're bracing our abs, they're gonna be nice and braced and packed here. But if we have this lean happening, we know that that ab brace is probably not there, and it's not a neutral spine, right? We're always talking about having a neutral spine when we're swinging and doing things under load. So let's fix the problem of leaning back. To fix this, we're gonna need a wall. So let's head back to the Airbnb and I'll show you the fix for leaning back during the swing. Hey guys, we're back at the Airbnb and we have a wall that we can practice this drill against so that we can fix our problem of leaning back during the swing. So we're gonna do what's called a static stomp deadlift, but we're gonna have our back against the wall. So it looks like this. We're gonna deadlift the bell up. And then we're gonna walk back so that our back is against the wall. So I'm here. I'm tight in my standing plank and my glutes, upper back, and the back of my head are in contact with the wall. And I am just holding my standing plank here, bracing my abs, pulling my kneecaps up, shoulders away from ears, getting tall through the top of my head, and keeping that contact with the wall. And that's the correct position for the top of our swing and the top of our deadlift. So remember that when you're swinging so that you don't lean back. Another common problem we see with the swing is breathing late. So let me show you what that looks like, and you're gonna have to listen for when my breath happens. So if you were listening and watching, you probably saw and heard that my breath was happening at the top of the swing. When the bell was all the way out here, that's when my power breath was happening. That's not gonna help your swing. Power breathing actually needs to happen at the same time as the hip hinge, because the hip hinge is what powers your swing. Ideally, in slow motion, our breath needs to be happening at the same time as that hip hinge. And that's what's gonna add power to our swing. To fix the problem of breathing late or any type of problem with your breath timing, we're gonna do some deadlifts. First, we're gonna practice that, and then we're gonna apply it to our swings. So we're gonna do 5 deadlifts, and we're gonna practice doing our power breath on the ascent. So let me show you that. So I'm gonna hinge back, grab the bell, I'm in my hinge deadlift position, and as the bell comes up, I'm gonna do my breath. So you can see there, I'm making that nice long power breath during the ascent, and my breath is finished, it's done when I hit my standing plank and the top of the deadlift. Now let's do 5 swings, practicing that same concept, doing our power breath as the hips are driving forward. Cool, that's how we fix breathing late or any breath timing problem. So we covered the standing plank problem. Now we're moving on to problems that happen with our shoulders and our arms, okay? The first problem we're gonna cover with the swing with arms and shoulders is bent elbows. Let me show you what that looks like. I will say that swinging with bent elbows is probably not gonna put you at risk of an injury, but really the problem with it is that when we bend our elbows, we're starting to direct our force up. So with the swing, we wanna send our force going straight out. Our force is going straight forward and even down into the earth. But when we wanna go up, just do snatches, right? If you wanna go overhead, that's when we're sending our force up, is with the snatch. To fix it, it's super easy. Just think long, straight arms when you're swinging. So when you're swinging, thinking long, straight arms is gonna fix a bent elbow. And you'll notice that my elbows are straight, not only at the top of the swing, but also in the back swing. So make sure that your elbows stay straight really throughout the whole movement and that you're not pulling the elbows bending here as well. Another really common issue we see with the kettlebell swing is people trying to lift the bell with their arms. And it's understandable, right? When you see somebody swinging for the first time, their arms they're doing this. It looks like an arm movement, but it's not. All of the power from our kettlebell swing comes from our hip hinge, and that nice powerful hip hinge is what is powering the bell. The arms are just holding on to it, letting it float. So let me show you what lifting with the arms looks like. We don't want to do that, and then we're gonna fix it. So you can see when I'm doing those swings, they're pretty ugly, and you can see that the bell is actually dangling down like I'm holding a purse or something. We definitely don't want that. When we're swinging, we want the bell to be an extension of our forearm, so just extending out straight on this line. We don't want to lift the bell with our arms when we're swinging, because then that means we're not using our hips to power it, and that's just not going to be powerful. If you want to get stronger arms, do some presses, do some get-ups. If you're lifting the bell with your arms, this is another easy fix for that. So you're gonna wanna find a short or small towel. So this is a hand towel, and we're gonna do what's called towel swings. So let me show you that. You're gonna line up the bell perpendicular to how you would normally swing, and you're gonna thread the towel through the bell handle and tilt it towards you. So I have my short towel threaded through, I'm tilting it towards me, and I am choked all the way up on this towel. I'm not hanging on to the ends like this. You're gonna choke up on the towel. And I will say that this is a 16 kg bell, which is slightly heavy for towel swings, but we only got one kettlebell in Maui, so we're just gonna do it with the 16 kg. So I'm gonna tilt it toward me. The towel is in the handle, and I'm gonna do some towel swings. So you can see with those swings, the bell and the towel were a straight extension coming out from my arms. Let me show you what it looks like when I do towel swings and I'm trying to lift the bell with my arms. It's gonna look different. So you're in your swing stance, you tilt it towards you, you're choked up on the towel. Now I'm gonna do lifting with the arms towel swings. This is the no-no. Hopefully you could see that the kettlebell was kind of dangling down at the top of the swing, and I just wasn't using my hips to power it. The hips were kind of moving slowly, the arms were lifting, it just wasn't a powerful movement. So grab a small towel, do some towel swings, and really get the feeling and the rhythm of the swing, and it'll really help a problem of lifting with the arms. The last problem we're gonna cover with our kettlebell swing series is when the shoulders become disconnected from our body. All right, you can also call it unpacking the shoulders. So I just showed you 2 demos of what a disconnected shoulder looks like. The first one was the shoulders coming up, shrugging up towards the ears. The second one was the shoulders coming forward instead of staying back and down. Having disconnected shoulders is a problem because over time, it just puts us at greater risk of injury because a safer position for our shoulder is down, away from our ears, and back. It also is a power leakage to let the shoulders come up or disconnect because it means that we're not engaging our lats, our big muscle, armpit muscle here. That one, to really turn it on, the shoulder needs to go down and back. And that lat engagement is an important part of the tension that we're creating with our standing plank. So it's an easy fix for this one too. When you're swinging, I want you to think about a couple things. You can think about keeping your shoulders away from your ears. So instead of letting shoulders come towards the ears, you're thinking shoulders away from ears. That's gonna create that nice packed, connected shoulder. You can also think what we call pits to hips. Shout out to team leader Maggie Burrows for that one. So when you wanna get really great lat engagement, just think pits to hips. You're trying to get them closer to one another, and that's gonna really turn on this lat and create a packed shoulder as well. Let me show you some swings where I'm thinking shoulders away from ears, pits to hips, but I'm still letting my arms stay straight and float off my body. So you can see in those swings, there was no shrugging up of the shoulder, and there was also no disconnecting forward of the shoulder. Those shoulders were staying away from the ears, and I was thinking pits to hips. All right, we made it. That is the end of our ultimate kettlebell swing checklist series. We covered 19 common problems with the kettlebell swing that we see when we're teaching the swing. I hope this helps you swing like a boss, powerful swings, safe swings, and really be able to progress in your kettlebell training. If you found this video helpful, you know what to do. Like and subscribe, right? Share it, and we'll see you in the next one. All right, we gotta go. It's starting to rain in Maui here. Storm is coming, so yeah, let's get out of here and pack up the camera gear. Yeah. All right, packing up the camera gear in a downpour. Slightly wet.